Grit Gym. Hey, welcome to Grit Gym. We have Madison Wagaman here. Madison has been working out at Grit Gym for probably about a year and a half now. Amazing person, probably one of my favorite people that I've ever met in my life, dead serious. And not just because of her shampoo commercial ready hair, but because she's tough, she's courageous. She started this when she wasn't sure if she could do it, and she is for real the definition of a boss bitch. She's a badass for sure. She's the reason why I really relate to her. She's awesome, awesome, awesome person.
Thank you.
You want to introduce yourself or tell them a little bit about you?
Yeah, okay. Like you said, my name's Madison. I am an x-ray tech. I started working out at Grit, I think a month after my dad died. So it was kind of my direction, my force, I don't know.
Your force?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like forced into it? Like
No, not forced into it, not at all. I chose to come here.
Yeah.
I just needed direction, something to, I don't know, I needed drive, something to work towards.
Yeah. And like we've talked about the good and the bad. Like that's a really tragic. It was a really like surreal day with the first day that you came in here, because I remember it super well. Like you came in, you're super quiet. You could tell you were nervous. I was trying really hard to like be as welcoming as I possibly could and be like, you know, like make you feel safe, because this is a really good place for feeling welcome and everything. But but that was like the first thing that came out of your mind. I was like, so what brought you in here today? And you're like, well, my dad just died. And I was like, holy shit, I do not know what to say right now. But I was like, that's really sad. And that was kind of like, and then you went on and you were like, yeah, you had said that like a couple months before that, you two had planned to start working out together.
We did.
And then that happened and you were like, I know I need to do something.
Yeah, it definitely scared me.
Huge
I think
call.
we were talking about, I told him probably like a week or two before he died, I said, I'm really scared you're gonna have another heart attack, we need to go do something, and we just never made it.
Yeah.
So, and then I ended up here.
Yeah, which turned into a really good thing. I mean, it's like, that's why I say the good and the bad, right? Like there's almost always something good that comes out of the bad thing. You know? Like you go through a divorce, you go through a really bad breakup. There's something good that you grow from that.
Yeah.
Like
it's a choice you have to
somebody
make.
close to you dies. You know, like you can use that as a oh poor me, or you can use that as a wake up call to action, right?
Definitely.
And what did that do for you in your life?
It changed my life completely. Coming here.
Yeah.
I gained so much confidence. I don't know. I'm more sure of myself than I've probably ever been.
Yeah.
I feel like I found myself.
It almost seems like you're giving that credit to Grit Gym, but like that's not Grit Gym.
It's been a big part of it though.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
But you still had to do it. Like it was super creative. Like you had to walk through the doors. You had to lift the weights. You had to eat the food. You had to take the mindset changes. You had to take the responsibility in your own life.
Right.
Yeah.
And as weird as it sounds, if I hadn't been through what I'd been through, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's the good and the bad, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of had a fresh slate, clean slate. So I don't know. In a weird way, it's a blessing.
What do you think stopped you from coming in? What do you think stopped you from starting to exercise and making it a thing before all that? Like go back 2 years before or 10 years before, or whatever.
The fear of not being enough. Definitely the fear of not being enough. Fear that I couldn't do it.
Yeah, once you got there, everything would fall apart.
Oh yeah, I was terrified.
Yeah, and now that you've kind of gone through the beginning of your journey, do you think that any of those fears had any?
I let them hold me back more than I ever probably should have. But now it's easier for me to face my fears now, just because I have that mentality. I can do this. I can kick ass at this.
Yeah. Yeah,
so.
And you're a super solution-based. I mean, like if you guys met, like most of the people that know you now, to think that you didn't always have this kind of like aura that you have now is absurd. The idea that like Madison Wagaman would be scared of anything.
Yeah.
For real, like we threw 315 on that bar that day, and you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I was scared. I just made up my mind. I'm gonna do this, or I'm not going to.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Well, yeah.
I didn't know what that was. something just flew by the window, and I was like, "What was that?" And then it was just a person walking by. Sorry, guys. But that's still really cool. So so the fear of not being enough was one of the do you think that was the only thing? Do you think that was the main thing? Do you have, or was it were there other things involved in that? For 4 years before coming into Grit Gym.
Yeah.
Let's say.
I didn't have the drive. I didn't really. Sorry, I didn't mean to kick you. I didn't
hurt.
I know.
Hurt so bad.
I didn't have the drive or the mentality like I do now. I had no reason to go other than, oh, I'm going to go work out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, you didn't attach a big enough why to it.
Yeah.
Like, we go through that first day. I mean, I almost didn't even ask you, like, why do you want to do this?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you had already dumped it.
Oh,
And maybe dumped is the wrong word. Like, put that information on the table, and I was like, well, I already know why. But I was like, ask her why.
Yeah.
Ask her, why do you want to do this? Because you don't get really clear with that why up front.
Yeah.
You like, what are you going to do when the time gets tough? You know, when it's like, I don't want to go work out. I only want to sit on the couch. I want to eat, I don't know, the shitty food or whatever it is.
What are you going to turn to?
But yeah, if you lay down that really heavy reason, this is why I'm going to do it. That's Janet says that. She says it's easy to be motivated when you know why you're doing it.
Definitely.
And she's talking about her grandkids. Whenever she says that.
Yeah.
But and then so you started. So you hadn't worked out. Like, you're kind of not a worker outer up front.
No.
And then tragedy strikes, wake up call, and do you kind of feel like because you and your dad, like, you're a daddy's girl, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
like,
really
you and
close
your
to
dad
my
were
dad.
really close, I bet.
Yeah.
And talking to your mom, because like Brenda actually, her mom actually works out here now too. So it's really cool to see you guys interact because you're so similar and so different at the same time. It's really kind of
really?
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
But it's really interesting because it's like you like, I'm kind of guessing I can like kind of figure out some of the ways that you were close with your dad, and
We definitely have the same sense of humor.
yeah.
Sarcasm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That like if you didn't speak fluent sarcasm, that'd be pretty tough to get along with Jim.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be that's like. I was thinking about that the other day. I
Prerequisite.
was like, is humor really just a litmus test for friendship? That was like my topic of thought the other day. I was like, is it just humor? Like, if you say something and someone gets offended, can they really be your, like, is that a real good friend? You know, kind of going through that in my head. But so you had the call to action. Tragedy strikes. You had the call to action, and you took it. You could have bowed out, you know, like, but you didn't. So you showed up to Grit Gym, started working out. What was like, how did the plan go ahead? Like, did it all happen just all at once the way that everybody thinks it's going to happen?
No. It's definitely, it's not just working your body, it's working your mind. You have to wrap your mind around, okay, I'm going to do this. Why am I going to do this? What am I going to get from this? I don't know. It's just, it was a big mentality thing too.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you had challenged you along the way? Was it like attendance or consistency?
I don't think it's ever really been attendance.
I don't think either, but some people have that.
I would say mostly confidence, because I've always been like one of those people, like, I'll walk around with my head bowed down, so I have to remind myself, okay, get your eyes up, look around, what's going on around you.
So do you think just being consciously aware of that has helped out? Just being like, stop putting your head, just like, because I bet you before you didn't even realize that you were putting your head down.
No.
Yeah, because I used to do that too. I used to be like, it used to be really uncomfortable for me to keep my head up here.
Yeah.
Because I used to be just like that. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, like I knew my shoes very well.
Yeah.
And so some people think that's probably not that big a deal. Oh, you're just picking your head up, but
Right.
how uncomfortable
For me
was
it
it to
is,
walk
yeah.
around? Yeah. And that's such a simple little thing, right?
Yeah,
But it's
it is.
like carried a huge amount of power for some reason.
Yeah.
Isn't that silly?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some of the other stuff? So did you ever feel like not showing up, or were you just like, you made the decision?
Oh,
you
for
were
sure.
gonna
For sure. There are days I don't want to
Yeah.
come, but I do it.
What do you think
I
the
try
diff-
to anyways.
Well, like, because like commitment's one of those things that pops up for me. Like the spectrums of commitment, right? It's like you're gonna make yourself do it even if you don't want to do it, or you're obligated to do it, or do you leave no other option? Like how do you get that commitment?
So there, like I said, there are days I don't want to come. It's mostly after like a hard day at work. I let something get to me at work, and then I carry it with me. But from the beginning,
I'm
one of the
thinking
things.
of a couple days when you come in here.
Oh no! Oh god!
Well, it's not like you were a terror or anything. Like you're a wonderful person. Like, you're always positive. It's not like you're one of those people that just comes in and dumps garbage over everybody. You know, that
I
you're
try
like,
not
this
to.
was terrible at work, but you just kind of tell there's like a difference.
Oh no!
Yeah.
But like I was saying, one of the things I started in the beginning of my journey was, even on the worst days, you have to remember that your bad days aren't really that bad.
Oh, for sure.
You just have to kind of put your head down and go.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can either let it stop you or you can let it fuel your fire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for real. Like that's one of those things. Like when I say lean into fear, like you should like fear is an indication that like you're not doing something that you need to do. Like if you're embarrassed about something, you better lean into
Definitely,
it.
yeah.
Because like if you don't want to call a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time, it's probably the best time to like don't give that fear time to grow.
Yeah.
Step on that stuff, lean into it, and do that thing because like it's probably the amazing thing on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Your friend is probably like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So you have had days where you're like, I don't want to show up, but you made yourself do it because you're committed. Nice. And then what do you think of the strength journey along the way? Let's tell them a little bit about some of the numbers that you've hit. Because what you guys don't know is that Madison has actually set and reset the deadlift record at Grit Gym.
Oh.
So multiple times now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like when you first started, it wasn't like you were just a strength phenom.
No.
It wasn't like, oh wow, she's so strong. It wasn't like you were a weakling either. But
No, I was just kind of here to be here in the beginning, and then it's just kind of, I don't know, we just kind of kept pushing things.
Yeah.
Pushing it out.
Well, one thing that we've never had to question, which like it's not like a real hard question that you ask, but like some people you have to push them along. You know what I mean? Some people just aren't super hard workers by nature.
Yeah.
Your work ethic is never questionable. You always show up ready to go, which is pretty cool. Do you think that's something that is just instilled with you, that's always been in you, or do you think that that's something that you like had to work on? Or maybe it's both. Like maybe
both.
Yeah.
When I have something I need to do or get done, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it. Let's attack it.
Yeah. Well, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes you really don't. Like there's the times when you don't feel like doing stuff, but it's like, good, go do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Do you think that's one of the big difference between people who are successful and not successful in the strength game, successful in the fat loss game, successful in the fitness game? It probably could be anything. Is that showing up when you don't want to show up?
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. And you've probably had days where I don't know how many days. Like we've probably screwed with your schedule a little bit. Like days where you were really stressed out and it was just like we need to back off and wait.
Oh yeah,
I remember. Remind me, because
there's a bench press day.
Was it?
Yeah, we were doing decline bench. I don't know what we were doing. Something with the bench.
Something with the bench.
But I just wasn't. I couldn't get the bar up, and I don't know if I was super stressed out, if I was sad. Who knows? But we kind of we backed it off a little bit, and we just moved on. Gave me some time to.
Yeah, it's just smart.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that should never happen.
Right.
They're like, no.
It's super frustrating when it does.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand why at the time.
Yeah, and we don't know if it was because your body was fighting an illness, or you were just not sleeping very well, or who knows why. But sometimes you just got to do that. What do you think? Because remember, I haven't lost a parent yet, but I've been around a lot of people that have lost parents.
Yeah.
So do you think now that because I hear that the first year is just awful, and then it just gets a little bit better after that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you almost after that first year, you almost start to appreciate things a little different.
Oh yeah, from the beginning that was
Really?
different for me. Yeah.
My mom talks about that with her mom, that it was like a different relationship because it doesn't sound like they were always like super close. So she was definitely like super close with her dad.
Yeah.
And so after her dad died, she just like was gonna make her relationship with her mom.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely makes you reconsider your relationships with people around you, with yourself. It's everything. Everything changes.
Yeah.
So.
And like exercise playing into that. Like, do you look at your body different now?
Oh yeah.
Like
body image is so much different than it was before. I love me more than I've ever loved me before. And that's
we should just stop the video right there.
Why?
Because that's like the biggest thing anybody could ever say. Is like, I love me more than, because the world tries to say that you shouldn't do that you should be selfish, or that you're a selfish asshole, and that how dare you love you?
How can I love anybody else if I can't love myself?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for real, the rest of the world, like someone will watch this video and they might not comment on the bottom of it. They might not send me a direct message, but they're going to be like, who she thinks she is.
We've already had that.
I know. Madison actually got some hate. We when she deadlifted 315, what did you do? Did you do 11 times? 11
Yeah,
reps?
somewhere around there, yeah.
No, it was 315 pounds, and she did it 11 times, and it was just like, she's crazy strong, right? That's pretty impressive.
I surprised myself on that one.
But she just kept going and kept going. I was like, all right, get one more. And she has one more in her. Yeah. But someone, what'd they say? You tell it. I'm not the first-hand person here.
It doesn't matter who it was, but
oh yeah. Good point.
what they said was they saw my mom out somewhere in town, and they said, "Who does Madison think she is? Why? Who does she think she is, and what's she trying to prove, being that strong?" I'm just here.
It's such a
I'm just doing me.
Yeah, but that's a person that's super jealous of the scenario. But that's the kind of thing that you all incur by saying, "Oh, like I love myself." But like that's the point. Mm-hmm. Like that's a great thing. Like if you love you, now you got all this great stuff to share with everybody else. Yeah. If you don't love you, then you're gonna go around spreading hate like all that like that hater did. You know.
And what good's that gonna do?
I don't know. So. I don't think it's gonna do much good.
No.
Personally. But I'm very much a hopeful for future times when people can I really do think like that we're in a state of kind of a new emotional level, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Mm-hmm. I think we're in a new kind of emotional level, and most of us don't really know what to do. I mean, I didn't before. I started doing all this mindset work, and I hired a coach and learned a bunch of this stuff and challenged most stuff and went through the meditation courses, and and then it changes the whole game.
Definitely.
Yeah, and how are you supposed to know? Like our coming of age story our coming of age process is to go to college, get drunk, and be sexually promiscuous.
And then go get a job.
And then go get a job.
And just work for the rest of your life.
We laugh at that like it's like, why would anybody want to do that?
Right.
Yeah, we were talking about vocation last night. Like, what got you into X-ray tech anyway? I don't think I've even ever asked you.
Honestly, I was looking at a list of degrees.
No, you should give the lie. You should give the lie.
Oh,
you should,
it was
not
because
honestly.
of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
No, I was looking at a
Great
list
show.
of degrees, and I knew I wanted to be in healthcare. I wanted to help people.
Sure.
But I didn't want
Imagine
to be a nurse.
that. I
didn't want to be a nurse. So I just kind of picked one, and I went for it, and I just did it.
Why didn't you want to be a nurse?
I don't know.
Some kind of weird connotation on nurse. Yeah, I couldn't do the nurse thing either. My mom's a nurse. My little sister's a nurse. I don't have any problem with nurses. I think nurses are great. They're fantastic.
They work their
wonderful.
butts off. I'm sure I'd be good at it. I don't know. I wanted to go a different direction. I wanted to be in healthcare, but I wanted to be in a different part.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So the lie.
So it worked out.
So the lie is that it was all because of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
How much Grey's Anatomy do you actually watch?
I'm
you
not
watched?
like a religious
Is it still on?
watcher. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was on when I was in college.
Yeah.
It has to be going. That's like 10, maybe 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still around.
What? Yeah. No, I can't. Cheap drama soap opera is like not for me.
No, I can't see you watching that.
I love to follow Madison and all her accomplishments. She's awesome. I couldn't agree more.
Oh.
Peg
Y.
Peg Y. I didn't really want to try to pronounce that one. I am known for butchering. I was about to say we, so.
Close.
Peg Wee. That'd be a fun name.
That would be.
But, so what's the process been? You weren't a big lifter before.
No.
What's it been like to lift weights?
I love it. Because I did a little bit in high school.
Yeah.
I went to the weight room like when we had to. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Nobody else did either.
Did you have a coach telling you what to do, or was it just like, here's some weights, go do that?
They kind of put us in a circuit. And it was just like, okay, do this many times, do that many times. We never fluctuated. Everybody did the same weight. So it was a very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did it, and I knew I was interested in it, but I was still scared at the same time because of that whole girls shouldn't be in the weight room kind of thing going around.
Yeah. No, I love how you've broken down status quo, and shown how people can, that females can be strong. I mean, we still have professionals that have 10 million Facebook followers that are professing that women shouldn't lift over 12 pounds, and it's just like you're a dumbass. Like, not you, that person is.
Right. Of course.
And so that stigma is still out there that women shouldn't lift heavy, and it's just ridiculous. And so like you're really busting down the status quo now.
Good.
What all have you learned about? What have you gotten from it, and what have you learned so far in the strength world? What's it like?
Everything seems to be coming back to the mindset thing.
Oh, really?
I don't know. You push yourself beyond the limits that you think you can go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's a great medium for, I think people just kind of learn mindset stuff along the way through weights. Because it's such a raw, tangible thing. It's like 200 pounds is always going to be 200 pounds.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're having a bad day or not. 200 pounds, 200 pounds. Like Henry Rollins has that quote where he's like, weights were the best friend I ever had.
Yeah.
He's like, they will always kick you the real deal.
Yeah.
And I had to, I super relate to that because,
yeah.
weight, I don't know, for someone that didn't have a ton of friends, weights were like an outlet for me.
Yeah,
so
for sure. I get that too.
Different.
Yeah. It's like therapy in a way.
It weirdly is.
Yeah.
And that 1 hour workout changes your entire life.
Oh yeah. I always feel better when I leave the gym than when I walk in.
Yeah.
Because
Even though you're tired.
Yeah, I'm wore out after work. And then I come here and just, okay, let's get this done. Let's do what we have to do. And then I feel great.
And what are some of the stigmas that you've experienced that, as a female, before lifting and after lifting? So, girls aren't supposed to lift over 12 pounds. Girls aren't supposed to be strong. Girls are supposed to be weak and feeble. Girls are supposed to just sit at home and have babies. And nothing wrong with sitting at home and having babies.
Right.
If that's what you want to do. What are some of the ones that you run into? Love your curves. Love your curves no matter what. It's like, well, yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing bad that comes from lifting weights.
Yeah.
It's all positive. Like your body image changes, your mindset changes, your drive, work ethic changes. And then you lose weight. It's all a perk. I don't know. There's nothing bad that could come from it.
Do you have that ID badge that you showed me? Maybe. Yeah, that one blows my mind. I don't know if they can see it very well, but
No,
Madison, someone, I forget what was the deal there when we saw that.
Somebody at work told me, "Wow, you really lost weight." And I was like, "What?" It didn't click. I don't know.
Just doing my thing.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that much of a change yet.
Yeah.
But apparently everybody else did. So then I put two pictures next to each other, and I was just like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
I changed a lot.
Yeah. See, I think that's a thing that holds people back too. Is that they'll work out for a month and they'll expect this huge dramatic change.
It definitely takes patience. You have to wait.
Yeah.
You have to work for it.
Yeah, because you're just going to make these little tiny incremental changes over time. And it seems like you're dredging it out, but really, I mean, I think it can be enjoyable and it can be safe and you can lift without getting hurt. I'm not saying that there can't be like wild, crazy accidents along the way.
Yeah.
But those should be mitigated as best as possible by like a professional. Otherwise, like me. But I do think that there's a stigma out there that the expectation is just so high.
Yeah.
That I'm always going to be I worked all this whole month so hard and nothing changed and so
what's the point?
What's the point? I'm just going to go back to how I always was.
Yeah. And for me, it wasn't ever about I need to lose this amount of weight by this date.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna lose so much weight before summer. I was just kind of here to work hard. And
Well, we didn't even take measurements on you.
No. I think one of the first things we talked about was I just want to be stronger.
Right. Yeah.
And
I remember really
meant that in so many different ways that I didn't even understand it myself.
Yeah, we at Grid Gym we make it optional whether you're going to jump on the scale and whether we're going to do the pinch test or the girth measurements and all that stuff. And most people really opt out of it here because that's not what they're here for. They're not here to try to lose 80 pounds, you know. And if they are trying to lose 80 pounds, they're just going to do it on they're going to. I don't want to say on their own, but. It's like they have a certain, the people that stick around out here are the ones that have a certain understanding like you, that it's just going to take this long amount of time to take it off healthy. And
yeah, and I didn't want to do one of those I don't know, fad diets. I didn't want to, I don't know. I didn't want to take a bunch of supplements that were going to make me lose weight. And
That stuff's so silly anyway.
I could be.
Let's take some green tea extract and this stuff that makes you poop a lot.
I wanted to be able to have a healthy relationship with everything in my life at the time, with food, with relationships, with... I just wanted to be all around the best version of me that I could be.
Yeah, yeah. And I think well, we try to be like supportive in all of those atmospheres, like health, wealth, relationships, time. Like you should be well-rounded in all of those things. Because if you don't have your wealth in order, how are you going to pay for your gym membership, to have your health in order, to buy the food that you need to eat, to be the best that you can be in your relationships, to do, you know, to it's like this all circumventing kind of like tons of factors and stuff. So very cool. You know, like I think some of it for you too is like, and you've already said it, like the mindset stuff, but like lifting has become like this like internal thing. Like it was much more about a transformation on the inside than it was like, how good can I look in rocking my halter top? I don't even know what a halter top is. Actually, I should have said that without knowing what it is.
No, it was just after what I'd been through. It was just the direction that I chose to go. Like you said, I could have chose to just kind of withdraw and do whatever I was doing. I was in a really dark place, and I chose to use that as my fire, my fuel.
Yeah, to push you forward.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of guts.
Yeah. And I kind of like made a promise to my dad too, like, I'm not gonna let this stop me, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make a name for myself, but I wanna be remembered in a certain way. And
like I think you probably want to make him proud too.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
you like there's I don't know, I kind of feel like this. Like I have a certain amount of responsibility or like a conviction. Like to the world or to the ones that I care about, whoever it is, for you or, you know, that like if I don't give my absolute gut wrenching best in this life, then like one, I took away from me and I took away from everybody that I was around me. And I think you kind of carry that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that how you would have explained it? Did I just fill in all the blanks?
You did great.
Thanks. That's what if you oh my God. I wish that sometimes that what goes across in these videos, like what goes on in like metabolic and like when everybody's out here, that somehow we could transport like the personality of Grit Gym and the experience of Grit Gym into these videos, because like I don't know. I don't know if the world's ready for that yet, actually. Like the sarcasm.
I don't think they could handle it yet.
Like the other night when I messed with Rebecca.
You did what?
Wait, you weren't here for that. The other night Becca was in here and she said something to Phil, and I thought for sure that she goes like shit like that. And Becca's like this little tiny girl that you would just never expect. Yeah, super sweet and nice. Never says anything negative. It was hilarious. But anyway, I thought you were here for it. You weren't.
No.
All the other ones though. Anything else that you want to leave the world with?
Just keep working. I don't know. Don't let your fears stop you. Just keep pushing.
I didn't even ask. Like, what do you think? Like, if you had to pinpoint your big fears, like where they source? We still got a couple minutes.
What do you mean, where are they sourced?
Like I always had a thing in relationships. Like, I had to with people just in general, friendships, girlfriends, family members. You know, just like I was never going to be the son that I could have been, or I was never going to be the friend that I could have been. So I would like go so far over and abound that I would just annoy the shit out of everybody.
Oh yeah. I didn't want to let anybody down, but like I had to be some certain kind of, just like what you said. I had to be perfect when perfect doesn't exist.
Exactly. Now who's filling whose words in?
Right.
Way to go.
Yes, we're a great team. Yeah, I just put myself up to these ridiculous standards, and when I didn't meet them, I just beat the hell out of myself. Yeah,
and they're not ridiculous standards; they were unattainable standards.
Yeah.
Like how are you gonna be perfect? How are you gonna do better than your absolute best?
Right, and it makes you feel crummy and crappy, so you just kind of start to withdraw. Or at least I did.
Yeah, and then it's so easy to go to those dark places and be nasty to the people that you don't want to be nasty to.
Yeah.
And it's super hard. And do you think that's something that that you had to kind of push through to be able to be where you are right now?
Yeah, I'm definitely a better communicator.
Yeah, not communications. Not either of our strong suits, probably. But you do a really good job, I think.
I try. I can be pretty awkward. I don't know.
This is a good place to be awkward. When everybody, like when you say something and like I've probably had this once with you. I actually know I have. I can think of a couple where I like looked at you and I was like, wait, what? And you're like, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, I totally get it. I know exactly what you mean.
We have a lot of those.
Yeah. Whatever. What are you gonna do about it, though? Like I don't know why I said that. Let's just forget that happened. Okay, we'll see you later.
I'll take a lap after that one.
Or like, but like just laughing at it too. Just laughing at how goofy you are sometimes.
Oh, that's super easy. I do that all the time.
Yeah, I do that by myself.
Yeah, for sure.
Like all alone. Why would I even be thinking of this right now?
Yeah,
this morning I was thinking of, I was like brainstorming ways that The Walking Dead could get out of, and
I've never seen that show.
Yeah, well, this is funny. Like, anyway, I was thinking of ways that they could get out of their predicament. I was like, what if they did this? And it's like, it's a pre-written show.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna find out. Like, why would you?
Why would you question?
And I was just like, that's so, like, why would I be thinking of this? So dumb. It's not necessarily socially awkward. It's just like weird shit that pops in your head.
Yeah, that nobody else would get.
Yeah. Or like, is humor the litmus test for friendship?
For sure.
All right, so we're gonna cut the show off. You want to send them out? You want to do the closing remarks?
Yeah, everybody like and share this. Make sure you leave lots of comments too.
That was a really good one. I didn't know what you were gonna say, so that is perfect. Please do that. But for real, like obscurity is our biggest issue. So the more that you guys like and share, the more people that hear Madison's story, the more that people that will be inspired.
Hopefully.
To live their own fitness journey, exercise journey, mindset journeys to a better place.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, guys, for being here. Today's Friday, so we won't do the show until back on Monday. So really excited for that. And Thanksgiving's coming up. If you guys see the events, there's an event somewhere on this page. There's an event that says Burn the Bird. On Thanksgiving morning at 8 a.m., we do an obstacle course at Grit Gym. It's free for everybody, but you have to sign up by clicking that link and RSVPing. But it's a really good time. Last year we had 38 people. It was a blast.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. I'm hoping to like double that number this year.
Yeah. So all my friends and family, you're coming with me.
Coming with Madison.
Yes.
My family shows up to it too. Cousins and everything. Yeah. It's so much fun. But anyway, it's completely free. You just have to RSVP before so we know
Trying to have a head count.
to get a head count. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you soon.